10 seconds in and we're up. Look at that, fast. Good connection today. We're going to share it out. Just bear with me here, guys. I'm trying to share this onto Facebook, and it's coming up with a blank screen. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome. We're here. Beyond the Rhine, Turn 1, Germans, etc. Gonna roll dice, do stuff. Try to mitigate as many mistakes as possible. We're playing on the other side of the board, so if you look confused or I look confused, it's because I am. I've got a little bit of beer. I've got some pain meds. I've got a swollen knee. If you hear whining and crying like a girl, that's me. So just pretend that's not happening and we'll go for it from there. I'm going to use my handy dandy little cheat sheet that I use to keep track of game turns. You can find this online. I actually intend on making a spreadsheet for this one because there are a number of items that occur and things that need to happen throughout the course of the campaign that I like to keep track of in a spreadsheet, so I can just tick them off that they happened or didn't happen, as the case may be. And I did that with DAC and with Case Blue, and it was particularly useful when you have date certain things that are going to occur and you want to make sure that you actually do them. There's nothing worse than being 3 turns past a date and then having to automatically make all that better. Right, so the first thing we're going to do, we're not going to do weather because it's the German turn, but we are in fact going to do the air unit return phase, which we're good. All the units are currently active and have not been flown. I just found a unit that hasn't been clipped, so that's good. We've got the reinforcement phase. I've pulled all the reinforcements. Unfortunately, and here's the air conditioner. I dropped one bicycle unit. It's at 232. I dropped it on the map when I was standing up and I flinched and I don't know where it is. So it's on the map somewhere. If we come across it during play, if you see an unclipped unit on the board somewhere that's a 2 rated unit, it's the one I'm looking for. So send me a little message on here and we'll kind of deal with it from there. I'm going to say hi to everybody here. Showstopper, hello. And Steve, good to see you. Awesome. TBL's a great game, Steve. That is a lot of fun. And in fact, same map scale. You'll recognize this area over here. That's Holland. And you'll recognize the Sedan area down there. And that's, I think it runs down to Colmar in TBL. It does about the same there, but it doesn't go quite as far to the left or to the west. But anyway, good stuff. Yeah, I'm glad you got that. I hope you enjoy the game. So hey, don't watch this. Go play. You're much better off playing than you are watching me play. That's what I always say anyway. All right. So we've rolled for the reinforcements. We've got to bring them on the board. I do have to roll for supply though. Let me see. So I got to do that. So let's do 2 dice and then we'll work out the mods. Bear with me for a second while I get something I can roll dice in. On the German side of the map, I have taken a few liberties with the layouts and placement of units, just so it doesn't get bumped and messed around. So you'll notice over here a lot of 1s and 2s and things like that. They're actually airfields, and there's nothing in them at the moment. And until such time as there is something in them, I'm just going to leave them with marks, with text markers on the board, so that I don't have to deal with knocking counters off on the floor and the dogs chewing on them. Okay, I rolled a 6 for supply, so let's see what that does to us. German supply status in September, October is the 9, on the 9 column. We are there are no mods. I'm just going to tell you that rather than going through all the columns and tell you that. So we get 8 SP. So that's a decent amount, actually. Feels kind of generous compared to playing the Eastern Front games. Okay, 8 SP, I'm just going to pull 2 4s out. I'm going to slap it on the board for the moment, and we'll work out where we put that later. Now we need to do replacements. Once again, we're going to roll 2 dice. And we roll, ooh, that's going to be good. We rolled an 11 for the Germans. 11, 11, 11, 11. Let me see. Oh, damn it, we get a bunch of shit. That's going to take ages to pull this stuff out. All right. FTRs, that's fighters. Let's see what that says. That might actually end up being number of on-map aircraft that can be flipped to full strength or pulled from the dead pool at full strength. So, and then 3 packs and equipment, 1 miscellaneous, 1 FP. What is that? Fetzerplatz, nice. And a 1 SP bonus as well. Okay. 2 HH, that's a hedgehog. Sorry, 1 HH, hedgehog. We get some an alarm battalion, random pick. Emergency pool activation, son of a gun. And 1 Panzer Division moves from unready to ready starting October 19th. Yeah, okay, that's a bummer. But we do get the Luftflotte Reich. Wow, these fighters are released. And West Wall upgrade a West Wall Hex. Huh. Okay. Well, this is kind of a big deal, and I'm not prepared for that. All right. We're going to deal with rebuilding units and stuff later, because I really do want to focus in on playing while I'm streaming live versus dicking around with flipping counters over and stuff like that. So I'll keep track of that to one side, and we'll deal with all that later. I think it's more fun for me anyway to do this than it is to kind of mess with units. It's bad enough I'm going to have to clip some units before I move them anyway. So you're in for a real treat. All right, we got a few new people here. Mark and Greg, good to see you. The big Ragu. And I'm glad you've got the 911 ready to go. Don't press send yet. You know, Mark, Blitzkrieg Legend is a big game, but it's kind of fun to solo it. I would agree with you that is a little much, but it is fun once you get going, and particularly if you play some of the smaller scenarios. Okay, let's see. Well, Mark, I mean, it's a big game, but have a look. I mean, there's really not a lot of units on the board. What's that there? Maybe 100? And then there's maybe another 100 there. It's only a couple hundred counters. They're just spread out. That's all. Don't be afraid. It's going to be okay. You could do this. You could. All right. Let's stop talking and start moving stuff. So we're going to we've rolled for supply. We've got that on the map edge here. We'll work out that. There's one thing I needed to do, and that was make sure I knew what the rail cap was for the turn. Is that somewhere useful and convenient that I can see? No, it is not. All right, that means I have to stand up. Just gonna. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Let's check rail cap real quick, and then we'll get started. We should be good to go then. Okay, German 10. Right, let me make sure that's correct. Actually, that sounds like a lot. Well, man, the Germans on the defense have got all the fun stuff this time. Right, let's see. Rail cap. So it's kind of funky coming out from this side of the map. I'm gonna leave moving reinforcements until later in the game. Till later into the turn, until I work out what I really need. There's a substantial amount of units. I'm going to show you what comes on in turn 1 or September 5th for the Germans right here. This is just up on the northern map, so bear with me while I get a little focus going on here. So there's a couple of breakdowns. There's 3 12-3-2 divisions that are full strength, and then one that's taken 1 step loss. Now I know some people put a 3 there, showing that there's 3 steps remaining. I like, because it's got a skull on it, to me this says I've lost 1, and therefore I have 3 left, and I have 75% of my strength of 12. That's how I look at that. I use the proportional optional rule there. I don't use the standard. It's half strength once you lose a step. And there's a couple of 2-1-2s and other bullshit in there. So there's a bunch of stuff. 5 SP plus the 8 that we just got for reinforcements, for our supply roll. And that's going to be used across the board. I've got some other guys here in the center. All basically Luftwaffe and a Fallschirmjäger, pretty much, and a reserve counter coming on. That's a 14-3. That's going to be very helpful because we'll be defending that part of the world there. And then I've got that little pile there also coming on to the south, which will probably reinforce some of this over here. And I'll show you what's going on with the Allies. Well, you know, if you haven't watched, you'll have to catch up. I'm not going to. Let's not spend a lot of time recapping because I think we want to focus on moving, right? And I need to clip my little pontoon bridge here, so bear with me. I'll do that real quick. First thing I'm going to do is rail some SP and an HQ up into the Antwerp area. Got the squeaky chair here, guys, so you have to deal with that and me grunting and groaning, so it's a massive trial for you. But I'm going to put the camera up over here and can angle it this way a little bit, and I may have to get up and move over that side. I don't know how well you're going to hear me from there, but I may move the camera. So the Allies attacked here and managed to pop through on 1 hex. And but in Antwerp, the Germans held tough, but unfortunately, there's no supply anywhere around here. And they're in Belgium or in the Netherlands, and so there's no inherent HQs in towns, and there's no way to throw supply to provide supply for defense. You have to pay 2T for defense, so you just had to go low ammo. As far as I can tell, I couldn't see anywhere on the map, unless I forgot to put SP on, that these dudes could be in supply. In fact, a lot of these units have just enough SP here to basically either move or fight. In fact, they can only move basically because there's not enough supply in this area to facilitate moving and fighting. So it really is kind of forcing you into a general retreat to a certain extent. Now, we are receiving 8 SP and 5 on the backs of trucks and wagons, so that's all good. But we have a paucity of supply in here, and we're going to have to work out, excuse me, how to service the units that are in this situation here. I do have SP all the way over there. See right there? See where that's a 5 SP, but it's on the wrong side of everything pretty much. Although the ferry is activated, we may well have to do some ferrying of bits and pieces to bring some supply over and onto the Scheldt estuary, that promontory there. Okay, so let's first thing. So the first thing we need to do in that area from where I'm sitting is, and here, look, this is why I started moving towards having just markers on the board, because they're all empty airfields. And it just makes it very inconvenient to play. You can't put your elbow anywhere, right? So I'm going to grab the 86th HQ, all right? And I'm going to clip him, and I'm going to rail him into a location where he will be able to throw supply, ideally pull and throw supply relatively easily on his eight factor side. He'll be 5 for the time being. So I'm just gonna, well, I guess I do have this, I have this other HQ right here, which I could use, but he's still too far away. I need an HQ somewhere around here, or up in this area, just here, just north of the, up in Dordrecht or something like that, because that would be basically 8 MPs by the time we got around to it. So I'm going to rail. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to rail this guy onto the map and put him. I'm seeing a bunch of comments. I hope you guys are talking amongst yourselves. If you're not, I will get to the comments in a minute. I am going to go. So we want to move him by rail and see where we want to pop him. So here would be a good option. Or here, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we didn't have enemy units in the way, would allow us to do what we need to do. Looks, if this breach of the Elbe Canal ends up being substantial, we're in a lot of trouble, because it's a challenge. If we lose Antwerp early, it's a challenge. So I have to do some sort of counterattacking here somehow with something, and I don't know what just yet. Hence the concern about where to pop this this dude. He's going to flip over next turn to an 8, but I may not get initiative next turn, which means he'll be a 5 and therefore not able to help in terms of providing supply. Now there is a counter argument that let's let these guys go down to exhausted, pay the supply cost later, and just leave them in place. They form a barrier at the moment, but once they're isolated, then they're going to have to deal with breakout issues then, and they'll be halved on defense and all sorts of nastiness and things like that. At least I think they'll be halved on defense. I'll have to double check the rules. It's been a while since I've actually had units put out of supply. So I think we need to be a little bit closer. I think I'm going to rail this dude all the way into here. And so that's one rail cap that we've used. And I'm going to send just a breakdown regiment with him to keep him protected a little bit. If I got my glasses, I could probably see a little better. Pop this dude in here. So those guys are railed. Do have some units that we could bring to bear on that crossing. We've got this 16-3 here, and he's only taken 1 step loss, I believe. This is really prickly. First couple of turns are probably not the most ideal ones to live stream, just because there's so much at stake in the early part of the game. I feel anyway. Making big mistakes early in the game, tactically and strategically, can be have longer term consequences than, say, if you're 2-3 turns in and you got the strategy rolling and things are going okay for both sides. You can kind of make adjustments, but early mistakes, I feel are costly. I'm going to rail. I guess I'll rail this truck. These 2 trucks actually with 2 SP in them. I'm going to rail those suckers down as well with 2 SP. I'm going to put them back a little ways. I'm going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. I can't see anything because of the shadows from my own hand. So So I could put that in portrait here. I could rail to here. And I'm knocking, see right now I'm knocking airfields off the edge of the map over here. All right, that'll help us in that area. I'm now going to move over to the other side of the map and move the camera, and we'll have a look at the movement in this area. Now I may break this live cast stuff up into 2 or 3 chunks because I think this is going to be fairly time consuming, as I said, because it's the first turn for the Germans. So I'm probably going to ponder a little bit more. I have not thought through what I'm doing here at all. Talk about coming prepared, but I wanted you to get a feel for how I play and how the game plays. And obviously, with me talking, it adds a lot of extraneous stuff to the game. So I'm going to just hobble around the other side, grab my drink on the way, put these where I can reach them, put these where I can reach them. I don't need charts and tables, but I do need dice. So let's put that there. Okay. All right. Let's do this from this side. All right, fellas, here we go. Just gonna try and gently move this over here and do a full. It's almost a, what's that, a 180? Let me just check comments real quick and we'll kind of get cranking on this. Hey Greg, how you doing, man? And Tony, good to see you guys. What's up? Well, you guys you're just on a mission here. Okay, I don't think you're asking any questions here that I need to answer. Drone camera, someone's a funny guy. All right. Hey, Big Ragu, yeah, I did do a drink refresh. There it is. Scotch barrel, something stout, something from the brewery called Abyss. All right, where were we? So we moved this HQ. We have to attack. Oh my gosh, I'm not allowed to do that. We know there's 2 units there, and I got attacked by them, so I know what's there. We're not supposed to look under the top combat unit, but we need to hit these guys pretty hard and try and push them back either across the Elbit or kill them. They are single-step units. These guys are probably not going to be worth anything in the attack, so we're going to leave them where they are, and we're going to try and cobble together some sort of response. They're in the open. No, they're not. They're in a frickin' city. That's awesome too. Okay. 1, 2 to here. That's the first thing we're going to do. So that's going to be 2 to there. And that's 20 factors attacking 10. That gives us roughly a 2 to 1. We might be able to pull. Do I have any worth? We don't. I have no air worth. Nothing, really. They're all ones. Yeah, there's nothing. The board is blank. The board is blank. I've got this guy. He can move 4. That's not going to help. 1, 2, 3. This would be the unit to attack here and cut supply off. This is what we should do then. This way, attack here. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, I would be very circumspect about getting the Market Garden game guys, the SCS title. I'm not a huge fan. We played it twice and one time we put 5 guys put 17 hours into it, and it's bearing on its relationship to history was strange at best. Just an observation, but it does play fast. This is the guy we want to attack right here. This guy right here. I can get firepower on this guy. So let's do this. One. I can flip this dude here. Or better, let's have a look. Let's see what else have we got. What else can I use without knocking anything else over? I've got the Panzers. 9. Yeah, there's a bunch of Scheisse here. So I can spend 1 SP. Where can I get an SP from, people? Right. Excellent. We're going to have to rail stuff. Here we go. We're going to rail. Can he reach? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. He can. So I'm going to pull an SP from here. This is the first thing we're going to do. Make that a 1. It's been railed, so at its destination we can use it. So that's 1 SP to fuel this, the 10th Panzer Division. Let's see if I can get there now that I've gone and done that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Easy. So I'm just going to grab this guy, put this here. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be 4 SP that I need. 4T that I need. And this is 4T, so I'm going to need 8 total. So that's 8T, which is 2 SP. For those of you uninitiated, that's 2T. This is 2 SP, which is 8 of these guys. 8 ones, right? You with me? You following along? So what I have to do, I need to rail more supply to here so that I can throw it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I can get to here. I can throw the supply from here, except if we're using those optional rules where the SS have to supply their own guys. Okay, if that was the case, I would just need to move the SS HQ core. Do I want to do that? Doesn't matter. I'm just gonna pull. I'm gonna pull 2 SP out of my generous pile I have over here. And if I'm playing this wrong, just someone yell at me. Don't just let me drift into stupidity. Okay. I'm just gonna rail 2 SP. And I'm going to put this back. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this back to 2 here. Okay. And I'm going to rail 3 SP right to freaking here. Okay. Where's 5? Where's 5 from here? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here. So there's no rail there. I need a rail intersection. You following along what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go, right here. What I'm trying to do, so you're going to use 1 for supply, 1 to supply the move, the fueling of the Panzers, fueling it from this SS headquarters that's here, okay? And this is an optional rule, but what I'd like to try and do, if possible, is do all the fueling and all the combat supply from within like cores, I guess, is what you want to do. I'm not, pedantic about it, but it's just kind of fun. So I can do this. We can rail this stuff to here. That's 3 rail that we've used, and 2 more over here. That's 5 rail, and 2 for these guys. That's 7 rail. So I'm going to make a little note. 7 rail. Write that on the board so that we don't forget. And that means now that I've got this guy fueled to here and moved to here. He's good to go. I've got these 4 units that are in this stack. They're going to participate in this attack here. And ideally, I'm just trying not to knock HQ over here. We will win this combat, push this guy out of here, isolate these dudes, and then it's going to be incumbent upon the British to sort their problems out themselves. So I may not need this particular unit to fight, but he's there just in case I do. All right, so that's kind of awesome. I feel kind of excited about that. So I'm just going to grab all these dudes. We're going to flip them all over to combat mode, because I don't think I can get there otherwise. Let me just check. Some of these have 7 movement points. So these two could definitely, they were here, right? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. So these two guys can make it in their full strength mode. These guys can't. So we'll flip them over. And keeping it real, put these chappies in here. Yeah, so I see the question here about attacking. Yeah, the market garden game does take up an 8-foot table. Look, let me just answer this question first. Yeah, I do have that Simnich game, market garden game ordered. I'm hoping it's going to be good. I have a love-hate relationship with the Simnich Zockbond system, but there you go. So the idea here is I want to try and build some sort of defensive line along the Elbe Canal. I do not want to lose Antwerp, because if I lose Antwerp, then it makes it harder to hold a shelled estuary. The longer I hold a shelled estuary, the longer I can forestall the building up of supply that will fuel the Allied offensive. That's my plan. Right? As weak as it may be, that's my freaking plan, and I'm sticking to it. Oh my God, look, I've got 3 SP right here under this edge. Look at this. It's almost as if the god said, Kev, you're going to need 3 SP. So rather than me railing all that shit like I just did, it's right here, there's 3 SP right here. But we're going to hold off, because I'm still going to move this supply by rail here, because I have other plans for this other SP. We're gonna activate a lot of units in this area here and start inching them back a little bit, just to build up the defenses, because I want to block each of these bridge areas, and I want to start building some hedgehogs and stuff like that. All right, so we've got one. I'm going to put a little blue block on here. That's going to be an attack where we hope that we will do later on, and they're the only 2 units we've moved so far. So we've been at this for 30 minutes and I've moved like 4 pieces. It's freaking awesome. All right. Let's see. That's all in pretty good shape. So these guys are going to flip over. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to move these guys back. 1, 2, 3 to here. This is a little bit of a hub. I probably should try and keep that, but you know, I want to get back. I want to get back here and protect and build a line that's defensible. And then when that collapses, we'll stage back and find another river or a canal to hide behind, as the case may be. Let's see what else we've got over here. 9th Panzer has 2 units in it that I can see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5, 6.5. Okay, so 81st HQ over here. Here is going to fuel from here the 116th Panzer. Now, 116th Panzer's got a couple of choices about where it goes and what it does, and here's my current thinking about its options. I'm going to try and show you a little bit more of the map. Oh, there we go. It's zoomed in. What do you know? Here's my thinking here. We could, you know, lunge up here and combine forces with 12th and 1st Panzer and totally try and knock the stuffing out of 1st Armoured's CCA, but we're not doing that. We're not putting valuable, decent. Oh crap! All right, I don't need to do this. Fuck. these guys can self-fuel, right? There's a 2T gone. These guys are now fueled. Let's do it that way. And we don't want to lunge up into here. We want to get back into some sort of protective position. So we're gonna boogie. And I'm going to put these guys in a move mode. So we've got 14 and 18, so we'll just call it 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to here. I'm going to push these guys 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to here. And these are going to be a ready reserve at some point. 11. And I think they need to be fairly close to the line because they'll be able to move a quarter of their movement in reserve mode. Or is it half? I forget now. I think it's a quarter. No, that's no. It'll be full. What am I trying to say? In the reaction phase, it's either a quarter or a half. Let me think about that for a second. I think it's a half. Yeah, half movement. So Moy looks like a great location to be able to sort of lunge in it. Once we put a reserve marker on that next turn, lunge in and assist. I'm going to the whole independence thing. It's difficult to get everybody fueled up cost effectively here. This is well, I guess we'll start doing this. Is there any other supply? Here we go, 4 SP here. We got supply all over the place. We're bleeding supply. I'm going to do some one-offs here. I'll need a 3T, and we'll just start cranking this out. I'll just lay them out like this, and then sort of chip away at what we're spending it on. So 1 to fuel this guy. So from 4T we've got 3 and 1T left. And I'm going to pop this guy back into a decent position, and we're going to all agree that he can pretty much get to anywhere he needs to around here. And I'm going to pop him here to start with. And he has moved. So we'll caddy corner him. And the dude underneath him has moved as well. So there we go. 9th Panzer is going to fuel up for 2T. That's going to make that a 1. And I will pull that actually into, bring these guys back across the river. I will pull these guys into here. Oh, he's infantry. He can make. He doesn't need to spend a T because he can make that distance. So we'll put him there. I'm going to pull these infantry-based units out. So he's moved. They can go. We've got a range of 3 and a range of 2. So one of them will go into with HQ. I need little white blocks to keep track of where there's supply available. I don't have any handy. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. And had this guy and this guy, and this guy was here, so he's going to go half 1, 2 to there. And we're going to rotate him over here, and this guy's going to go half 1, 2, 3, 4. This little group, 1, 2. I'll move without spending fuel to there. It's an AT gun unit. These guys are holding the line here, but let's move them. One, 2, 3, 4 to there. It's a thin line, but it's a good line. These guys have lost 3 steps, but we'll bring them up. 2, 3 to here, 4 to here. Okay. I have to jump up and put the air conditioner on. It's getting hot in here with the lights. All right, I'm relatively, I'm going to come back to this little area here. We've spent 2T, so I'm just going to put this to one side for the moment, and I need to look at what's happening over here, because this is a mess. It's a mess everywhere, but I've got these guys trapped down in here, and 2T no less. So I'm going to fuel this dude. He's kind of trapped though, so he's going to have to move. So this is what sucks. All right, we're going to have to just abandon that supply. 1 to here, 2 to here, and these guys will carry on. 3. These fellas, I think, will go 1, 2. They're basically speed bumps. We'll leave this unit in Bruges. I want to kind of make some sort of defensive. Ooh, okay. I'm going to pull an SP from here, a T from here, I should say, and move this dude. That's a valuable unit. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 to here, into that hedgehog. Now, technically I'm supposed to put a fuel marker on that guy, but we'll keep track of that ourselves and move this guy up into that hedgehog. Need to get some sort of supply. I'm just going to give up Ghent without a fight. So I'm going to pop it into turn Nusen there. I'm going to spend a T for that dude to move. So that drops down to a 2T. And I'm going to pop this dude in here as a 4. And he's moved. Oh, come on. These are unknown. You can't see that anyway, so probably doesn't matter, but they have these random fortified units. You flip them over at the point of combat to work out whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. Adds a little juice to the unknown elements of the game. I am going to go I'm going to have to flip this guy over. 1, 2, 3, 4 to here. I'm going to pull this guy down 1 to there, and this guy, he's out as well. 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. Basically, we want to escape across and ferry all these guys out if we can. Now, arguably, well, there's nowhere to rail to because the rail line's blocked. I was going to say we could rail out, but we're not going to do that. We can't do that. Another good units. 1, 2, 3. So I'll just pop him here with this chappy, and this guy will back up into the swamp or polder, whatever you want to call it. Just 1. And that's that section of the map. I'm going to put a marker here just to remind myself that at some point, perhaps when I'm offline from you guys, I need to reread the Breskens ferry rule to see how I can ferry SP and troops over there. It's based off port capacity, so I don't think it's a big deal. It's pretty straightforward, but I'm not in the mood to look shit up at the moment, if you hadn't guessed. So we'll go from there. Now, from one challenge to the next, we'll have a look at this here. Oh, hey guys, we got a few new people joining. Thank you for tuning in and watching for a little bit, even if it's just for 3-4 minutes. Kind of get a feel for the game, and I kind of enjoy talking through my thinking process here because it helps me understand a little bit more about what I'm trying to do as well. Now, while I said over here that we weren't going to attack this unit, that doesn't mean we can't be a nuisance to them. So if we take this Fallschirmjäger chappie, he could be annoying if he wanted to be, and he could move to make life a little difficult by going to here. Actually, we could just do it for one movement point to here. This breakdown unit could move 1 to here. Now this boy has, you know what, I could actually do this. 1, 2, 3, and he has no zone of control doing that, that's right. So, you can do this, 1, no, it's gonna have to be here, 1, and 2, that's probably the best way to do it. I'm gonna leave him here. I'm kind of reluctant to do that, but that's okay. This was a good hex for them to capture in the exploit move because it really locks up a lot of my movement options in terms of potentially counterattacking out from here. So now what I'm really forced to do is think about retreating, right, and pulling back. And in fact, you know, a quick lunge could cause problems down here because this is very, very weak here, and I've yet to move all the other crap that's down there. So we've got to think about that. Also, I don't want to have any of these guys isolated, all right? So we're going to reinforce here. That's 2. That's 1, 2 to here, 2.5 to there. We're just going to build the line a little bit there. This is all 1st Panzer stuff. I'll just put that up there. We're going to leave this recon unit where he is for the time being. No point spending money we don't need to. Oh, look. Hey, what about me? Yo. So I'm going to throw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to there, so we can fuel him and bust him out. And just to keep it simple, I'll pull the supply from here, but he's paying for it, and we'll move out. And let's see, where is he going to go? He is a 9th Panzer unit, and 9th Panzer is back up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5 to there. All right. We've got a little breakthrough action going on here, but it's kind of a breakthrough to nowhere to a certain extent. If I was going to move 1st Panzer, I'd probably move him up to here, just north of Sini. That might be a good idea, so let's do that. We'll pay for that with 1 T from him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can make his own draw from there, and we're just going to move him up one hex to there. Oh boy, that doesn't feel good. Okay, I just can't use my foot to scoop my seat along. This is somewhat of a weakness here. And last turn the Allies moved this. Can you see that? Yeah, the Allies moved those guys up. So I'm a little worried about that. I have not a lot I can do to help though, unless I start rejigging forces. I could strat move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not going to help really. Can't really counterattack this guy. He's pretty tough in the woods. I could attack here maybe, but coming across the river, that's going to suck. This is, I don't know that the Allies can really do too much here. This last turn I kind of oriented towards Namur, so reorienting back around Dinant here, or Dinan as they call it. I don't know how they call it. I got yelled at on one of the videos for pronouncing some area incorrectly. I confused someone. Sorry for that. Not French. And they don't give a rat's ass. So, when in doubt, don't do too much. Procrastinate and think about it. And hopefully you'll come up with a plan. That's my new mantra. Same problem here. Look, 2nd Panzer's got a battalion and a regiment. Oh, I didn't realize it was out of focus. Sorry, guys. Just, golly, sitting here. I'm used to attacking with my Panzers, not defending. Panzerlehr. These guys are going to be in trouble. These guys better move back. 1, 2 to here. And you know what? I'm going to throw some supply to this unit. Ooh, can I? That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Who the hell put this here? Okay, I guess he's staying. He cannot move. That sucks a baggie, you know what? I can't get supply. I can't get any fuel to him. Seriously? I could use a rail SP. I guess I could, couldn't I? I'm going to rail one token's worth, which is going to cost me 1 SP of 1 SP of capacity, the equivalent, basically. And I believe I can do this. I'm going to rail this up to, I need a suitable spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here it is. I'm going to rail it to here. This guy can now call it from here, and I believe that's how we would solve that problem. But I'll table that move, and we'll see. And if we do move him, we're going to pull him back to either to here or to here. So I'm going to put a marker on that guy, and we'll work that out. Actually, we'll do this. Use these 2 dudes. I'll work that out later. Because I don't want to look up rules right now, but I think I can do that. You can rail, you can't, well, I know you can rail supply, and I know that you can rail supply to a detrainable hex, and that is a detrainable hex. And once it's in that detrainable hex, you can consume that supply. So screw it. That sounds about right to me. It's kind of a cheesy, cheap way to do it, but I'm doing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where do I want to go, though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to here. Probably 7 to here, I think. Somewhere like this. Or here, maybe. It's a waste. It's a waste of a move. He's hardly moving any distance. But if I leave him here, he's going to get isolated and die. Although he is rated 5. Well, I've kind of spent the T now, so let's just do it. Let's move him back to here, I guess. Oh, shit. Oh, I might change that move. Think about it. He was there. That might be a dumb move. Wow. We lost the Sedan last turn. I'm not sure what to do there. Steve Harding, that's a great question about the Wacht am Rhein, Battle of Bulge. If you were on earlier, you may have heard me say I got a WAR, a WAR rating result for reinforcements, and there's a pile of counters over on those boxes over there, and there's sets of divisions and units, and I can move other forces into those boxes as well. And as you go through your turns and time progresses, you activate and make ready units for this Battle of the Bulge. And then the forces just appear on the map at the time of your choosing, whenever you choose to run the Wacht am Rhein scenario or plan per se, and then it's within a given time scale. There's from turn X to turn Y, you can run the Wacht am Rhein scenario. So it's kind of a cool way to do it. Gives you lots of flexibility, lots of choice. There's some randomness to when and how much of the army is available, and you can supplement that with other units that you pull off the board. I believe I read them. I read all these rules a little while ago, so they're roughly in my head, and I have 2 months of game time to become familiar with them, so I'm not too fussed about getting all that right now, but hopefully that will give you some insight into what we can or can't do. Okay, so I said I used 7 regiment equivalents, which is also the same size as a SP, 7 of rail, and what I want to do now is have a look at whether or not I should move some additional units by rail up to the Albert Canal. I'm still feeling very thin around the Antwerp area, and I'd like to have some extra units up there to bolster that, but I don't seem to be able to see much I could use. Maybe this Fallschirmjäger unit, that might be a guy. He's 4 rated, and effectiveness of 4. So let's boogie him down this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can get to there without going into Stratmo. Actually, he's 5 rated, so he can get to here. 5. That'll help. All these other guys are kind of crap units. Not even worth moving. All right, it's time to look at the Liege area. So let's do that, and then we'll probably I will probably need to take a break at some point. So let's kind of dig into this a little bit here and see what we have. All right. I could break this down a little further. And spread some units out along here. Some of these units are very weak. 1, 2, 3, 4 to here. Push this guy up to here. Push this guy up. 1, 2, to here. Move this guy up 1. Wow. Is that right? Vivier's. Let's see if Vivier's really has that many steps lost. What is the chart? Of course, it's on the other side. like it's really stiff. That's really pathetic. Okay. Here we go. Let's have a look. Bulge scenario. German information, ROCAP 10, I said, right? So we're looking for the city of Verviers to see how many losses are on that unit. I may have put the marker on the wrong way. So I'm checking. I'm looking for the town name. Come in. Where are you? Eeklo, Eindhoven, Antwerp, Aarschot, Düsseldorf. Now we're getting close. Wavre. You may have heard of that before. If you're a wargamer. Liege. Come on. Verviers. Less 3 steps. It is less 3 steps. What I was hoping was that I'd set this up incorrectly, but this guy's 4. He's a 4-4-3 basically. Alright. Obviously broke this down a little bit here. That's what he was doing. I feel like I need to have more units up around here, so I'm well, 6 of one, half dozen the other, huh? I guess that's as good a spot as any. It's a city. There's the raw dam there. You get to blow that at some point as well, which causes flooding, all sorts of fun stuff. And we might as well push up some rockets. 1, 2, and those guys can go with, and you guys can go 1 to here. It's got a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. And this is just crap, more crap. And I've got replacements here too that I can use to rebuild or do stuff with later. We've got some reinforcements and some rockets over here. Sorry, not reinforcements, just other units. This guy's got 2-step losses. I don't know why it's on his movement side. For crying out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's moved. He's moved. All right, guys, let's see. Now, I'm not done moving. I still have probably 10 units to bring on. I do need to resolve the replacements die roll and work all that out. I think that's going to take a good 5 or 10 minutes to kind of, because there's a couple of rules in there that I need to reread in terms of, how replacements are handled and how I track on the map or on a piece of paper who gets what and when. So that'll take a little bit of time, and I think that'll be just kind of tedious for you to watch that little exercise. So we've moved half the units. It took a little over an hour, and there's lots of me talking and hobbling around. So one thing I haven't, also haven't done here is I haven't put any units into reserve mode yet. Can only do that if they haven't moved, and if they're not adjacent to an enemy unit. Most of my valuable units, arguably, are still adjacent. There's one thing I actually could use up in the Antwerp area is some artillery in reserve mode. That would be handy, which makes me ponder railing an artillery unit up into that neck of the nape, like this 12, this rocket unit. Oh shit, this rocket unit, but I don't want to split up the SS forces. Has that got an artillery unit? I don't think it does. Nope. Yeah, I need to keep that all together. So I think what I want to do is pause here, and we'll come back and I'll live stream later on. Unless you guys have questions or comments, I'm gonna kind of call it bygones for the time being, and let me fix the replacement stuff up, because it may impact movement and whatnot. Some forces on the board before I get too much further into the turn and forget what the hell I'm doing. So if you're all good with that, I'm going to do that. Yes, weak units in a cannon do equal cannon fodder. Hey there, Dubrick. Dubranik, good to see you. Haven't seen you online for a while. And Jason, hello. Does the game end if you lose Aachen? No, it does not end if you lose Aachen. It ends, there is a drop dead rule, and that is auto victory rule, is if you have a certain number of units across the Rhine prior to a certain date. That's one way you can win. The other way you can win, if you go look at one of the other videos, one of the first videos I did, I went through the victory conditions. You can exit a certain type and number of units over there, and then down on that side of the map, if you exit a certain number and type of units over there, that will also aid you in your quest for victory. Does that help you understand a little bit there? All right, guys. Thank you for joining and tuning in. There was a lot of fun just being able to chat through the options here. As you can see, that's one raggy ass line. And then, remember, zones of control here are very porous, so not being able to stop guys pass through unless you have a complete line means that this is a recipe for disaster at the moment. All right, guys. Talk to you soon, fellas.